For the KPAY Morning News, he is the executive director for the American Bail Coalition. Jeff Clayton joining us on the KPAY Morning News. Morning, sir.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Mike Baca's here with us as well, Jeff. So this is always, we look back in November. We thought we defeated, with Proposition 25. Why don't you give us a little background on this whole cash bail ordeal and then where it stands now? Because I know another state senator was trying to push through another bill.
Yeah, absolutely. So where we started was Senate Bill 10 from 2018. We were going to eliminate bail in California, use a computer system to decide who's in and who's out. And as we know, in November, the voters said no to that. We want to keep the right to bail, and we don't like this computer. And so then during the pandemic, the Judicial Council did zero bail. And so Senator Hertzberg and Assemblyman Bonta, now AG Bonta, at the time introduced legislation in January that would have basically implemented the zero bail system. It didn't go very well as they got over to the Assembly, and so they changed the bill. And now what the bill does is essentially it creates a right to what is an affordable bail. Basically, how much bail money do you have, and that's what the bail is. And if it's more than you have, a judge can't set it, which in effect will just create basically an automatic, not automatic, but near automatic right to release for almost all persons detained in jail in California.
Now, is it still depending on the crime? I mean, the bail usually is set depending on the severity of the infraction. So does that just do away with that then? Is that what you're saying?
It does, because under the Humphrey decision, what can happen is that if somebody can't afford their bail, the prosecutor can say, no, they're too dangerous, they're too much of a flight risk, and even though they can't afford it, they're going to have that bail anyway, and the result of which is to stay in jail. This makes the defendant's ability to pay without substantial hardship the determining factor. And so you're getting out, and really it's, what money can the judge pull out of your pocket on the way out the door?
And so criminals can just claim poverty and I can't afford that, and so the judge can look and say, well, okay.
Absolutely. And
okay.
if you can afford to use a bail bondsman, by definition, you can't afford it. So, 95% of the people today use a bail bondsman. Well, they can't afford it, so they get out for free. That's what we're talking about here.
Are there any crimes that are not eligible for this, or is this blanket?
It's blanket. So the state constitution allows, to deny bail in limited circumstances, like for homicide, capital murder, and a few other severe cases, third strikers and a few others. But if it's a bailable case, they're getting out.
So your organization, the American Bail Coalition, what are you doing to battle this?
Obviously we're putting the message out of what this would mean in the state of California in light of what we've seen in other states. Obviously we're explaining this to constituents who are engaging at high levels to tell California legislators that they just don't want this right now. We're in the middle of a crime wave, and in light of what happened in Land Park last weekend, folks are just not thinking this is a good time to loosen the bail system and make offenders less accountable.
Now, this new bill, I guess it's Senate Bill 262. Has it been voted on yet? I mean, I see a note here that it was supposed to happen before tomorrow. Has it been voted on, or are they doing it today, or what's up?
Well, they passed over it yesterday, adjourned at 7:48 p.m., so they come back on the floor at 10 today. They're going to adjourn sometime tomorrow night into Saturday morning, so we'll expect that it'll get a vote either today or tomorrow, or we'll find out that it's just not going to move forward.
What recourse does the public have if something like this is passed, if they decide to do this?
Well, they could do a referendum, as was done last time. Unfortunately, this legislation, the senator carrying it amended it to put a 2/3 clause in to take out the public's right to referendum if it passes. So if it passes, I'm not sure what, is going to happen, other than there'll be, some litigation over whether, constitutionally you can deprive judges power. But it's going to create a real mess if it passes.
Well, yeah, Jeff, as you noted in some of the points you sent over to us, that Proposition 25 got voted down almost by 2 million votes. People did still want to maintain the cash bail system, and we've heard too many reports of people let out because of no bail, and then 2 days down the road or a week down the road, they're again arrested for even a bigger crime.
Absolutely, and that's what I think is chilling this town of Sacramento that I'm sitting in right now, which is, you had a parolee who was accused of auto theft, who got an automatic zero bail, and ultimately, killed and raped a 61-year-old woman and burned her house down over the weekend. And that we just can't have that. And we need to have judges looking at this, and to have the legislature tinkering with judicial discretion and pushing these policies is causing problems, and is going to cause more problems if it goes through.
Now, as we know, as California goes, so goes the nation. So what are we seeing nationwide? Are we seeing others kind of keeping an eye on what's happening here, like we always see?
Well, I think California is going the other way, believe it or not, for once. I think the rest of the nation is going the other way. The state of Texas just cracked down on zero bail policies, saying we don't want them. They're causing major problems, tripling of pretrial crime in Houston. So I think California is late to the party on this. I think people are realizing that this is not the time in the middle of a crime wave. That sure, we've got some reforms that we need to make for sleeping on park bench cases and stuff like that. But when it comes to hardened repeat violent offenders, that's the game right now, and these are the people we need to get going after to reduce the crime wave.
Now we know too that the bail industry, of course, is a big proponent on this, and has been since the beginning of this discussion, like you said back in 2018. But even before then, this has kind of been working its way through, and as we've seen in Sacramento. So what we're seeing is that it would guarantee. Again, I'm just trying to put things in perspective here for our listeners. It guarantees, this new SB 262 would guarantee the right to affordable bail for everyone. And that includes serious felonies. Is that right?
That's
Did
right.
I hear you
That's
right?
And this is
wow.
Absolutely. And so that was the movement to prohibit what folks on the left were calling wealth-based detention. And so, in a system like the federal system where the prosecutors can just move for detention at any time, that works. But in California, you can't do that. So if you're creating this right that everybody's getting out and there's not going to be bail, you got to have something else. And here we're not. The alternative is they're getting out for free. And that's why this is a dangerous policy. They're taking sort of the half of the no-money bail system that allows for release, but they're not putting the detention piece in for prosecutors and law enforcement. And that's why it's going to create a big mess.
All right, we'll see if they're going to work on it today, and you said possibly even push it to tomorrow before they're done for the weekend. So all eyes on Sacramento. He is Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition. Jeff Clayton joining us this morning. Jeff, we appreciate your time. And like I said, the voters spoke, but I guess it don't matter to our lawmakers.
It doesn't now,
right?
but we'll see what happens.
All right. Jeff, we appreciate your time. Thanks for calling in and checking in with us.
You got it. Have a good day.
All right.